Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey,
and we are the Markout Movie Podcasters. And on today's episode, I did a Shudder and Horror because I don't have I didn't create an intro for versus mode. I guess it's something I need to do. But it's a versus mode. But this Halloween 6, you can watch on Shudder, aka Amazon, not Amazon, but AMC Plus. So Brandon borrowed my copy. He left it home and on top of
AEW is all out.
2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, so don't mark out too much.
Hey, you can mark out. That's when Chris Jericho won the world title. Mark out indeed.
We have James Pond, No Time to Care. Hey guys, hey James, thanks for joining us. And I'm gonna try my best to remember to
remember what?
The people that's on Facebook, because they don't show up. Unfortunately, they show up, but they don't show up in the comments. But in today's episode, we're talking Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, specifically the theatrical version versus the producer cut. And did you want to mention anything about Ric Flair?
We're gonna do that.
I mean, it's late. We don't have to. Well, Ric Flair, he's getting canceled in WWE.
Yep.
Hogan got canceled for saying some racial stuff at one point. He wanted to ask me about it. I think
I was just curious how you felt about Ric Flair getting canceled compared to Hulk Hogan getting canceled.
Man, I mean, once they canceled Bill Cosby, anything's open for me. I mean, Bill Cosby was the guy back in the day for me, but yet
brought Bill into it.
But yet, but they got canceled. Although I think he got released.
But you grew up like a major Ric Flair fan, though, right? I mean,
I wasn't a huge Mark. I'm an Arn Anderson guy.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to the Four Horsemen, but
okay.
But no, I was a Piper guy, and so
I knew he was Piper.
Yeah, Rick was okay. My buddy Dimitri Steer loved Flair, but I'm not a big Mark Flair.
What I found funny about it is when Hogan got canceled, then Flair just kind of became the guy.
Yeah.
Like he was always the guy.
Yeah.
And now you got two people that have been canceled. So,
Lord.
Well, Hogan's still kind of canceled.
This guy. Halloween Curse of another podcast about Halloween. Huh. See how I turned it over on you there? Joker. I did. What about the WWE woke wrestler to make fun of SJWs? Is this a real person? I have no idea that WWE has somebody that does that.
Yeah, he's in NXT. They canceled him.
Really?
That's what I heard.
Oh, really? I didn't know. Was that his gimmick or what?
Yeah, it was his new gimmick. And from what I read, it's been canceled.
Listen, WWE, anybody that gives us a Cleaver Beaver or Beaver Cleaver and Jimmy Wang Yang, WWE. Also, this is the same company that gave us the African Dream Akeem. Come on. Y'all need to be canceled. WWE, like years ago. Let's be real. Slick is the most racial. It's a worse gimmick. But I don't know. He might have been a nice guy, but it screamed 80s, but also stereotype. Scream stereotype. Y'all bad. Listen, let's be real. They're bad. They have a total history of being like, oh yeah, hey, the Rocky Maivia. Yeah, you're gonna be a Polynesian. You come out here in the garb and all that stuff. Yeah, because Vince is a racist. I don't know, what can you say? I think he is, but I might be wrong. They are making a safe space for wrestlers. In WWE, there is no such place. Godfather and the Hoe Train. Absolutely. Godfather and the Hoe Train. Like, come on. He literally had hoes. This guy had hoes. And they was on a train, a
There
theoretical
was no
train.
train.
It was a metaphorical train of hoism, but he was there.
I still remember Ice Cube.
I remember the song with Ice Cube, Ice T.
Well,
Don't get
yeah.
confused. You confusing your ices.
It
Don't
happens.
confuse your ice.
It happens.
One is a light skin ice. One is a mocha ice. But Hogan should have been canceled years ago when he said, yeah, he said some words, and I know the word that you meant to place in that word, but we ain't gonna say it. But anyway, yeah, it's crazy with Flair, but it is what it is.
Do you have a problem with it?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
It was 20 years ago.
but still,
The company knew about it then and did
well,
nothing.
this is what I think, real quick. WWE, this is the same company that, like, pretty much covered up Jimmy Snuka killing a lady. So they pretty much, all bets are off then. Did you know this?
Yeah.
Did you know Jimmy Snuka killed
Yeah.
a lady? Killed his girlfriend? Yeah,
Yeah.
he totally killed her. It's not like he totally killed her. But he was like really, when they brought him back up on charges, at that point he was really rattled with, like, I believe, dementia, and so they couldn't really, it would have been cruel to try to prosecute him. But yeah, I'm trying to get to the
podcast. Is it on the podcast? Or
yeah,
your page?
Yeah, I'm on my page real quick. I'm trying to get so I can make sure I see people's comments, because people try to remind me. Not a one comment on mine. And then let me go to our.
I don't expect much.
Well, nobody usually comments on our page, so I'll come back. So anyway, we are talking about Halloween 6. The movie came out in 1995. Let me go ahead and give you a quick synopsis. Not only are we talking Halloween 6, I gotta say this for you. We're gonna be talking Halloween 666, the producer cut, and this is what Brandon thinks about it. Does this sum up your enthusiasm for this series?
I mean, I love certain films, but for majority part, I think without that first film, this is a very generic franchise. Without the first one.
Well, the
the original Halloween.
Okay. Without Carpenter's.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's just my thoughts. I don't want to upset anyone. I've already upset people for my comments on this particular movie. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta talk about that. So, 6 years after Michael Myers last terrorized Haddonfield, like the last previous, that's how all these little introductions and this little series from 4, 5, and 6 pretty much runs. 6 years after Michael Myers last terrorized Haddonfield, he returns there in pursuit of his niece Jamie Lloyd, who escapes with her newborn child, who may or may not be Michael's kid, depending on what cut you look at, and a mysterious man in black. I don't know. That's stupid. I ain't gonna start reading this no more. Anyway, this movie stars not Daniel Harris. Donald Pleasance does return for his final role as Dr. Sam Loomis in Halloween. Rest his spirit. Paul Rudd makes his actorial acting debut.
I'm curious to know your thoughts on.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. And then Marianne Hagen plays Kara Strode, which she tried to. We'll talk about her too. Mitchell Ryan is Dr. Wynn. Kim Darby, who was on Star Trek, on the episode of Star Trek, the original series, as a little girl. I'm going to bring it up because I recognized her when I seen her in Star Trek. I'm like, that's the lady from Halloween 6. And I was right. Bradford English as John Strode. Keith Bogart as Tim Strode. And there's a host of other people. Barry Sims. Leo Gator. And there's a lot of other people. And then, of course, J.C. Brandy filling in for Daniel Harris as Laurie Strode. Not Laurie Strode, but Jamie Strode. But was she Jamie? Not in my book. But anyway. And then also George Wilbur returns as the Shake.
Which film are we talking about? Which version of the film are we talking
about?
Both
of them. He returns.
There's two different. I mean, there really is.
But then somebody took over for the Shake for the reshoots.
That's why I like Michael better. Okay.
Because they didn't want him to look as bulky.
Yeah, it's the same Michael from 4.
Yes, and it makes so much sense because I was like, why do I hate this Michael so much? Because it's the same Michael from 4.
Yeah.
You got the numbers?
Oh, I got the numbers.
I'm pretty sure they're embarrassing.
It's got a 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 2.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd, 83% like it on Google, so that's good, right?
Yeah.
It's got a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience score is a whopping 37%, Aaron.
A whopping 37%. Yeah, this movie is abysmal.
But you liked it better than the.
I liked the theatrical cut more than I like the producer's cut because
I'm curious
of the gore. I thought the gore looked good. The kills looked better in the theatrical. I thought they were more subdued in the producer's cut.
I will say,
but the story was better in the producer's cut.
I mean, it was.
If better is being shot versus stabbed, I guess. I don't know.
I like Jamie's death better than the theatrical cut.
Yeah.
Because Michael actually does kill her in that version, and I didn't hate Jamie in this movie, but
I'm not gonna touch it, DK. I'm gonna leave Elvira alone. He said thoughts on Elvira coming out. That's on Elvira, man. She came out the coffin. Yeah.
She's in a 19-year relationship with another woman.
It is what it is, man. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Are we supposed to have a problem with this?
I'm not gonna say anything, because yeah, it's Elvira. I liked her movie, Mistress of the Dark or whatever.
I'm just curious if we were supposed to have a problem.
Let's get back to Halloween, man.
I don't have a problem.
Halloween.
People do whatever they want.
Halloween.
I'm not their judge.
Halloween.
I'm just saying.
Hey, matter of fact, well, so Brandon can calm down. Let's show a quick little clip.
I'm calm.
Every legend is based on fact. Every myth is grounded in truth. For 17 years, the town of Haddonfield, Illinois, has been haunted by a night when evil roamed the streets and a madman ruled the night. Everyone knows his name. Now, everyone will know the truth.
I knew what he was, but I never knew why.
All right, real quick. You've seen Fat Michael. I'm sorry, not Jason. Pardon me, Fat Michael. Because Jason, I'd rather watch Jason. But in this case, because Michael is
a diehard Michael fan, and he's turning on him. He's turning on him
as
he revisits the whole franchise.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, why was I in love with this again? All right, let me first talk about a little backstory. So this movie was originally supposed to come out back in 1991 with the Akkads, human, but it didn't. Back then, the writer of this, Ferran, I think is his name, Ferran. I don't want to mispronounce the name. He's a super fan of the series. He's a super fan of Halloween, and so he had the Halloween Bible, essentially. He created like a book of like trying to link everything and like the thorn and everything. So he wrote a treatment for this film, and the treatment was going to connect. He actually originally wanted the whole town to be a part of the thorn, and so this whole town kind of Haddonfield is all thorn. Everybody lives there. It's thorn that except for this family, the Strodes and stuff, and Michael was whatever. They also wanted the mayor to have a mayor in there to wear white to kind of juxtapose the Man in Black. And the mayor was going to be much like instead of the mayor, he mentioned specifically instead of the mayor of Jaws, there was like, let's go ahead and let's keep it going, let's keep the beach open or whatever. This mayor was going to be about shutting down a beach, and because he lost a child years ago, or a family member years ago to Michael. So he was going to essentially be like the mayor, but also be like the widow, like the lady that lost her boy in Jaws. And that's what specifically he mentioned about this mayor that was going to be in the movie. And then also, they're going to try to have Jamie Lee Curtis pop up at the end as being that she never really died, but she's been running because whatever. But she came to save Jamie. Jamie is was supposed to also die at the end of in the script. She was supposed to die, sacrificing herself so that Kara and her boy and Tommy Doyle and them can escape. Essentially, sacrificing herself, and following Michael's knife to die so they can escape.
Sounds
But
like a better ending.
none of that happened. You know why? Because Mustafa Akkad, like, first of all, Jamie Lee Curtis will never return to Halloween ever. She's a big star. See how wrong you were? Oh, you're dead now. I'm sorry, Mustafa. But the rest of the Akkads, you see how wrong y'all were? You were wrong. Secondly,
She wouldn't have came back to this.
Secondly, Dimension, or Miramax Dimension, which is the same company. Dimension is the horror section that produces horror films. The Weinsteins, Harvey Weinstein. We're talking about people like getting canceled. Harvey Weinstein. He and his brother,
Bob.
yeah, they took over production, essentially hijacked production from the Akkads.
That sounds like I like them. So.
And so essentially what you got in the theatrical cut is what the Weinstein I think it's what the Weinsteins wanted, or the producer. I forgot which one whose cut is whose. I don't know if the theatrical is the Akkads and the producers is the Weinsteins. I say the producers is the Weinstein. The theatricals is the Akkads. I don't remember which one. If somebody knows, please let me know.
His son's interview, he was disappointed in both versions. He said the producer's cut didn't get finished.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this whole movie is an unfinished product.
Yeah, it really is.
It feels like it. Really, it does. It feels like it was unfinished. And that's my problem with this franchise is they didn't take their time to develop a really good story. They rushed things. And they had 6 years here, apparently, or 7 years to come up with.
They had more years. They had a lot of time to come up with something better.
This is like them rebooting it in a sense, time frame. But I don't know. It's just, I hate this movie.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about it. So, as mentioned before, we have 2 returning people that have been in the series. 3 actually has been in the series in the past, technically. So technically, we've had a Dr. Wynn that's been in the series, but he's played by a different actor in Halloween, the first one. Then we also had Tommy Doyle, who's played by a different actor in the original Halloween.
Yeah.
But now played by the lovable Paul Rudd. Back then, not so much. Oh my goodness, Paul Rudd was absolutely terrible in this movie, in my opinion. Although, but the writer of this film, and then also Malik Akkad, and then I think, and then Paul Rudd, and then the Marianne, the actress, they all kind of was like rebels and kind of like try to do things to make it better because they were making this movie while it was being hijacked by the Weinsteins, and which is terrible. Which is what happened with Halloween 2, because you had Rosenthal that was directing it, but then you have John that comes in and is like, no, I want this done, and you have I think the Akkads that said, no, I have this done. Then you have your Aaron your Bonds that was like, no, I want this to be done. So that's why you have so many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Okay. You do have all those problems, and of course, it's going to throw everybody off. I mean, actors especially. It's like, okay, we listen to you or we listen to you. But I did notice that one of the Akkad's son mentioned that John Carpenter was in play as well, but he went to New Line or something. Like he was involved at some point in this. That's what he said. I don't know, but that's what he said in his interview. But he eventually went to New Line. So If Carpenter would have been involved, this movie would have been 10 times. No, Infinity better.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you can't blame the director because he
No,
was a
you
young
can't.
director that was essentially, you do what I tell you to do or we fire you. But the writer was like, he was the diehard fan, and I hate it. I wish that someone would have made a cut of what he made, what he wanted to be done, which would have actually went into part 7. So it would have flowed into part 7
Yeah.
and completed there. Hey, calm down, dog. But anyway.
They were like, well, he had a good idea with Lori coming back.
Mhm.
Let's call her. Let's call Jamie and see if she'll come back.
But so what do you think of Paul Rudd's acting?
Very green.
He did a lot of head stuff, didn't he?
Yeah, he was.
What you say?
He was. I feel like he was trying to play what eventually Jamie ended up playing in Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
But either he didn't do his research or he was just very new to the game and not much acting experience, not much, practice. No, he didn't take that many classes.
He came up as very quirky.
Yeah. He didn't feel like he was Tommy Doyle. He felt like, to me, this is what he felt like. He felt like this is what Tommy Jarvis would have been if he would have played him.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I feel that. Yeah.
Like maybe a mixture of 5 and 6. Tommy Jarvis.
He's a mixture of Tommy Jarvis mixed with Andy from Child's Play. Like it's like like a boyish, infatuation, but urgency. But he wasn't he's not Loomis crazy. There's another person that returned is Donald Pleasance. Sir Donald. I don't know if he's knighted. He should have been if he hadn't been. Sir Donald Pleasance. He's knighted in my book. He returned, and he honestly gave the best performance in his movie. Like just every time for me when Donald was on the screen, he just absorbed the energy. Like in a positive, because he's just so. And
he was less crazy in this one though.
Yeah, he was less. He was more. He was a lot older. He had heart issues, obviously, because he ended up having surgery during shoot, and ended up dying from his heart surgery. And so he died while they was making this movie, which is terrible. I'm not laughing at him dying. It's just terrible. It's terrible. You know what I'm saying? It is terrible. The man died while they was making this movie.
You gotta stop laughing.
I'm sorry. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? No, sorry. Now I'm laughing. I'm just being funny. But anyway, no, he died while he was making this movie. And you can tell there's a stand-in or one or two. This movie's so bad. Oh, the big elephant in the room. So why didn't they return? Why didn't Danielle Harris return?
They were okay. See, the script thing was new to me. I didn't know she was supposed to make it to the end.
Mm-hmm.
But from what Akkads said, discussions with her reps just stopped. He didn't really go in details, but I have heard
it's probably something got to do with Harvey Weinstein. Let's be real.
I'm
looking right at you, Harvey. Well, you can't see me. You're in prison, aren't you? Anyway.
But what I've heard over the years is that she wanted to return, but she didn't want to return and be killed off in the first act.
Like a la Rachel.
It was like, Rachel, but I think they were going more for what Scream was going for with Drew Barrymore.
This is predate Scream though, but yeah, it would have. But
you're killing your real lead, your final girl for the past 2 movies in this.
I tell you, I enjoyed going back and watching Scream. It's crazy, like how much, and it was like it's embarrassing because I watched all 4 Screams, and then I had to turn around and watch this mess, and in both films, and in the first one I was like, okay, that's a pretty cool kill. Oh, you see the the spine, you see the neck, I'm like, oh man, I never noticed that. It's pretty gnarly and stuff, and I was like, that's cool. But then like it just got to a point where I was like, this is just so bad. And then like with the producer cut, that was terrible, hard to get through. But even the worst Scream film, which is Scream 3, in my opinion, was so much easier to get through because it's still enjoyable. Because you have Dewey, you have you know, you know,
Sydney.
Sydney Prescott. You have what's
Gail.
her- Gail Weathers. Yeah, and you know,
You have a cameo by Jamie Kennedy.
yeah. Even have like a spark, and plus you have Jane Silent Bob that pops up for no reason because you know it's Miramax and
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna get off on Scream, but we can save that for next year. But
oh, we're doing Scream next year.
I hope so. I mean,
We're doing Scream next. I'm not doing the thumbs down. I'm excited.
Oh my god.
Oh, but I'm sorry.
I thought the kills were pretty good for this film. It's just I didn't really care for the characters for the most part.
How'd you feel about Jamie?
I thought it was a good kill. I just thought it was stupid.
No, how'd you feel about the actress that plays Jamie?
I mean, yeah.
She
I didn't hate
she
her.
had an uphill battle. She had an uphill battle.
I mean, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't?
I mean, you're feeling the road that Daniel Harris, you know.
She's beloved.
Yeah.
And that'd be like someone replacing Laurie Strode.
Oh yeah,
where's she at now?
Are you talking about Taylor Scout?
Yeah.
Scout Taylor, whatever her name is.
You don't know.
See, I don't even know her name.
You don't know.
I'm sorry. Well, if you want to come on the podcast, I will learn your name. She's gonna be real with you.
She really only got 3 films she could talk about.
We're gonna talk about the 2. What's the 3rd?
April Fool's Day remake.
Really?
Yeah.
Did that happen, or is it?
Yeah, it was actually a legit.
Did it come out already?
Oh, it's been out. It came out.
Really? I have no idea.
It came
that
out
this
around
movie
the same
happened.
time she did Halloween.
I had no idea.
It's horrible.
Okay, that's probably why. I was like, I didn't know they made an April Fool's remake.
Yeah.
Because the original was like in the 80s, so I had no idea.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as Jamie, I thought the actress did a good job. It's just you're replacing someone that's beloved in this franchise who replaced Laurie Strode.
Oh, you know what else I hated in this movie?
What's that?
The editing. I'm talking about the theatrical at this point. Man, like I hated the 90s. You know, you remember, this is what it reminded me of. Edge's intro back in WWF, when he first entered the WWF.
You think
you think you know me. You know, and it just has like flashes and cuts of the grainy colored pictures, and then it's like supposed to be like vampiric, right? And so, but that's what I got from this. It felt like the beginning with the like warped like the lens when she's going through the tunnel, and it's just weird out close and claustrophobic. I hated that. And then like there's just like weird color things. It's just so bad. This movie's terrible. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I didn't like the editing.
Okay. Since we've established you don't like the film, I don't like it either.
Nobody likes this film.
You like this version better though.
Yeah, I did like theatrical better.
So
I had more fun with theatrical than I did the producers.
Okay, explain. Because don't you feel the story's better than the producer's cut? But you like this one better? I'm curious.
Yeah, there's no story in the theatrical. This is the story. This is what I gathered the story is from the theatrical cut. All right. Jamie Lloyd, who was abducted 6 years prior, has been held captive, raped by someone. In the theatrical, they never implied it's Michael. They actually implied that it's a test tube baby that they created and manufactured, because that's what the little fetuses in the glass was like failed births, and this is the only one that's taken. But I always heard that also it could have been the Man in Black's baby, which would have been even more creepy. Because this old man, doing that. I can't see Michael having sex. I cannot see that. It just doesn't make sense to me. But okay, that's like Jason having sex. It's just weird. Anyway, but anyway, I see. So she escapes being captured this a long time. Michael kills. She goes to a train station, bus station. She calls for the radio. Loomis lets her know that she's there. Essentially, Tommy finds the baby. Finds the baby. She's dead, and now Thorne wants to get this kid back because they want this kid to be the last sacrifice of the bloodline of Michael, so that the curse can pass from him to Danny. That's the synopsis. That's what I get from it. The theatrical version. That's just the theatrical version. Now, I mean, isn't that not the same plot for the producer's cut?
I mean, it's similar.
Yeah.
It's just the producer's cut has a lot more in it. You know, they tell a little bit more about the Thorne cult. You know, and they show that Michael is preparing to rape Jamie, and
She said Michael. She said Uncle Michael to her me, and then she like grimaces like, no, you know what that grimace is?
yeah,
It's Michael with his mask on doing
this
his Michael
was
thing.
just not a good idea. When they come up with this,
That's weird, man.
It's
weird, man.
To bring in a cult to begin with the Michael Myers storyline.
Michael's such a puppet. This movie.
I'm trying to get away from that. He just. Do you want to talk about it? We can talk about it.
I just want to say that Michael's a puppet in this movie. Like the end where he's just standing there.
Yeah, he's
just like standing off to the side, like chilling. Like, come on, man.
He's a
It's weird. It's like nobody. Like, can you see Jason Voorhees? Let's be real. Kane Hodder. That's what I'm speaking of. Can you see Kane, Jason Voorhees, just chilling off on the side while all this cult stuff is going on? No, he's murdering people. Can you see? What's the name? Victor Crowley. Chilling.
No, he's not gonna chill.
He's ripping arms off.
Yeah, I mean he's.
Can you see the Terrifier? Can you see Art the Clown just chilling? No. Michael should not be just stand over there like, okay.
I've said it since we started doing this since part 2 that they didn't take their time to develop a good story, and with each film that has Michael in it, it's gotten worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
That's why I say if it wasn't for that first film.
Go ahead, rant. You want to rant? You there to rant?
If it wasn't for the first film, this would be one of the worst franchises of all time in the horror genre.
Preach, Brandon.
I'm going to upset people, and I know I am.
Go ahead and upset them.
I don't want to upset people.
You got to upset them. Go ahead and upset them.
But you didn't take your time to develop a good story. You didn't take your time. Oh, another thing I got an issue with.
Okay,
the score in the theatrical cut.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. And another thing with the producer's cut, I know it's copy and paste from the original movie, but it actually felt like a Halloween movie to me. It's an awful Halloween movie, but it still felt. When that score hits and you see Michael coming, I felt that. And since you said that he replaced the other guy, I was like, why does that Michael seem like he's Michael in this version and he's not Michael in the theatrical cut?
Because they replaced him.
Yeah, and I had no idea.
But it makes sense. But I mean, you see that the shape of literally the shape of Mike, like C.J. Graham was a more heavy set, older looking Michael. Like, you can't see his face. Well, you see his face. The guy that was killed by the bar, in the theatrical, the guy that he rammed his head into a bar, that's actually C.J. Graham. That's actually Michael. And that's a pickup shot.
You say it's C.J. Graham?
Or whatever his name is. What's his name?
I was about to say C.J. Graham was Jason and Jason Lives.
No. George Wilbur. I'm sorry.
George.
Not C.J. I apologize. Not C.J. C.J.'s not in this film. Or maybe C.J. is brought in at one point. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. But no, George Wilbur actually pops up. He's the guy that was killed. His head smashed against the bar and killed that way.
Yeah, I just feel that this franchise was playing catch up since Halloween, since the first one came out.
Mm-hmm.
They waited too long to do a sequel, and Carpenter didn't come back to direct, and he kind of left the franchise. He got his royalties, of course, with every film, but like I would just love to hear what he really has to say about the sequels. Has he ever came out and said how he feels about them? I know he hates them, but
I think the only thing I heard is him say, as long as they keep paying me, they keep making them. So at this point,
everything you need to know.
But I think now, like the 2018, H2O in 2018. And let's say, because I don't think that he really, I think he went back to the whole paycheck thing for Resurrection. And I think he's openly said how much he hated Rob Zombie's. I think he said that, right? Like, I think that he had issues with Rob Zombie's take.
He had issues with Rob Zombie.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I think because Rob talked about it because he was excited to meet him and whatnot, and he said the meeting apparently didn't go well, and he called Carpenter and
Michael Lerner played him in another role. Also, Brad Hardin played him in a couple of pickup shots.
So they had multiple Michaels.
Yeah, well, they had to. They had multiple.
But I would just be curious what he thinks of 2 through 6, excluding 3, but like 2, 4, 5, and 6. I would be very curious to what he thinks
I would be too.
But
I do want to bring up one thing. Real quick.
Bring it.
All right, Marianne, the lady that played Kara Strode, who was supposed to be the new Lori. That's what they called her, and that's what they envisioned her being, the new Lori. So she heard that Jamie Lee Curtis went and bought her clothes originally in the first Halloween at JCPenney's. And so she did the same thing. She went out and bought her own clothes and got her own look. That's not studios providing her a look. She provided her own look to kind of mirror that of Jamie Lee Curtis's look in the original Halloween, because she just wanted to kind of like be the spiritual successor to Jamie Lee, to Laurie Strode in this, which she was pretty weak. I'm sorry. No offense, lady, but I kept forgetting your name while I was watching this movie. Like, honestly,
what's her name again?
Kara.
See, I mean,
like, in my opinion, the successor to Laurie Strode was Rachel Carruthers. I think that she was a better fit to kind of carry on the legacy of who Laurie Strode was. And they squandered that by killing her in 5. But anyway,
they squandered a lot.
But then I also want to mention the bonfires that you see. The studio said no. The Weinsteins and Akkads, the old camp they called them, said no. But Malik Akkad literally went around and lit bonfires himself. And he was a rebel. Essentially, a lot of the stuff that you might like in the movie is because he just said, well, we're going to do it anyway. Screw them. And, because he was a fan. He is also a fan of the series.
Yeah, I mean, he loved it. I mean,
is he still involved now, even with the new stuff?
I think so.
They still own it, essentially, right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I believe so. Don't quote me on it because, I'm not the big Halloween person. But I wanted to bring up one thing. Mm-hmm. Both versions. The old woman that Tommy lives with,
Mrs. Blankenship.
Yeah, saying that she was babysitting Michael.
That's stupid. That was so dumb.
I was like, when did this happen?
Yeah, I guess because Michael.
Are we supposed to forget the original? I mean, when did this happen?
At the beginning of the first one, Michael was coming from across the street to go into the Myers house. So I guess, in theory, he left Mrs. Blankenship's house and walked across the street to, his house. We always thought that his sister was babysitting her. She just was doing a crappy job of it.
Yeah, she was supposed to take him trick-or-treating.
I don't think they ever essentially said that either.
They didn't?
No. But he was dressed in like a trick-or-treat outfit.
Maybe it's the remake. They say that.
Yeah, that was.
I remember
that was the Rob Zombie
remake. I guess that's. I'm stuck on Rob for a second.
Because that was what we always heard growing up. Well, she was supposed to take him trick-or-treating, so he killed her. But I think it's what Rob Zombie did because. It's Rob Zombie. I don't know what's wrong with that guy. But anyway,
I mean, nothing's wrong with taking your brother trick or treat. Aspect to the story.
But
he
Rob
doesn't do it. I'm gonna kill her.
No, but that's not why Michael. See, that's just implying that Michael. Yeah. And that's what I hate about the whole Thorne scenario. Is because you are saying that Michael Myers is evil because of this. What's scarier as said by my main man from Scream, by Billy Loomis. He says it's scarier when you don't have a motive.
It is,
and that's what But he did have a motive. His motive was because Sidney Prescott's mom was banging his dad. But anyway, which we'll talk about that when we get to the lovely series, which is the Scream series. I imagine we're gonna watch it leading up to Scream 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like you, Brad. I like how you think. But yeah, back to this 6. It's so bad. Anyway,
so what have we not?
what about John? Okay, I want to tell you this real quick. John and Deborah is the name of the parents in this movie. They were named after Deborah Hill and John Carpenter.
Oh, okay. I couldn't think of what the guy's name was.
Yeah, the father is John.
He's
John Strode.
He's an awful person, but his
He is.
performances I feel is one of the best in the movie.
He is.
Him and Loomis.
You didn't like Deborah Strode, the mom. You called her a pushover.
She was until she got killed.
she died pushed over. Michael pushed over with the axe.
But I don't know.
Also, her death was pretty weak.
She didn't have much meat to her
No.
character. Like the father did. He had more. You had reasons to hate him.
Yeah.
And
you wanted to see his eventual demise, but which his demise in the theatrical was better than it was in the producer's cut. In the theatrical, his head explodes.
Yeah.
And he's foaming and all that stuff, and his head blows up.
I will say the deaths were better in the theatrical cut because they wanted more gore.
They wanted more gore to get the audience to kind of, because it was tame. The audience, listen. All right, let me tell you a little story real quick. So with Friday the 13th, at this point, where are we at in '95?
Friday's not doing anything.
So that it's
Jason
dormant.
Goes to Hell's happened in '93. I think.
Okay, so that killed it until X.
It was called The Last Friday. So.
Yeah, but they didn't want it to die. They wanted to keep going, but
you make that kind of movie, you kill it.
You just kill it. Yeah, but they shoot themselves in the foot. But anyway, so you have that. Right. So you had that. So do you have this big drought of horror? Of course, you had Candyman that came out, which was
92.
Refreshing. You had later on, I think you had Tony Todd's or Thompson Amey's Night of the Living Dead, which is more zombie stuff. That's 90. Okay. And then you have, but you have some stuff in between there, but nothing that really like sets the precedent of where we're going next. That's not Scream.
Yeah.
But so this film was like Friday the 13th. At that point, they said we can't compete with Freddy because he showed up and Freddy pretty much became the king of slashers. He held on to that reign for a long time. I think Freddy was done by this time, right?
Yeah, Freddy was done in '91.
Yeah,
Freddy's did happen in '91,
and
because he died real quick. He got big. I'll never take anything away from him, but once he become a comedy star,
yeah, he killed it.
They kill their own creations, and I don't understand it.
You know why? The studio says, "Well, this is what I want." It's not about what's best for the story. The studio says, "Well, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want." Like it was the Weinsteins that said, "No, have Michael be the father of this baby." It's Weinsteins that said that.
Yeah.
They said, "Are you serious, man?"
I would say the same thing. I would say I'm taking. Well, you probably couldn't because they probably owned it, right?
Yeah.
Halloween rights.
Yeah. See, that's what happens when you let the studio come in. The studio actually, I think Dimension at the time owned the rights to Halloween. I'm pretty sure now Universal owns Dimension. Is that how
They're involved?
Universal Universal is the big money. Universal essentially probably bought it. I assume, or probably absorbed their stuff because I think Matrix was Miramax and Universal owns all that, right? Doesn't Universal pretty much own like it's Disney and then it's Universal? Is that how it is pretty much?
Well, I would say Universal is second
behind Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then it's probably Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and then Warner Brothers. Yeah, which Warner Brothers is actually Universal. Like, ain't they? all within the same? Because you sure they don't share IP?
Maybe they do.
Because if you think of Space Jam, A New Legacy, if Derek's still watching, he's gonna probably love this. You think about Space Jam, New Legacy, a lot of the IPs and stuff that you see in there is a mixture between Warner Brothers stuff and Universal stuff. Like Back to the Future is Universal.
Yeah.
But it shows up in there.
Does he?
Well, the DeLorean shows up.
In Space Jam?
Yeah, in Space Jam, like it's like on the billboard thing, it pops up.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, it's like really, it's very, yeah. Of course you can figure it is a really bad movie, but still, it shows
I remember
up.
the Matrix being in there, and Harry Potter World was.
And they are all what? Who's IP?
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. Okay, all right. So that still hosts the Warner Brothers, but Universal. I'm trying to think. That Kong, they own Kong, and Kong shows up.
Yeah, he's legendary, but Warner Brothers is affiliated.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I was just wondering how that worked. So, all right.
He was Universal. Because I remember him at Universal Studios.
He was RKO. He was RKO initially, and then became Universal. He was a Universal monster, I think. Yeah, I think he's considered Universal monster.
You talking about classic monsters or just the
classic? Well, actually, Michael is Universal monster now. We're gonna be real, but yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
He's Universal monster. But yeah. Anyway, my point was I forgot where I was going. But anyway, because it's more interesting than this movie. But no, my point was this: that the horror scene was like dead essentially, and then this movie didn't really do anything to help it. It wasn't until '96, the year later.
Wes Craven said, "Hey."
Wes Craven said, "I got this.
Let me reinvent horror once again."
Okay, guys, listen. I'm gonna save the day. And Wes Craven, along with Kevin Williamson,
Yep, Kevin Williamson.
They saved the day and spawned a lot of knockoff movies that came after that. You know, but I will say this: that the Scream series held strong. You know, over the course of its entries.
I think overall, like as far as quality goes, it's probably my favorite horror franchise to watch. Mm-hmm. As far as quality, I'm a Jason fanatic, but I'm never gonna say Jason had the best movies. Just throwing it out there. Mm-hmm. But I did have the most fun watching Jason kill people. But his storylines, there is no story. People just show up at Crystal Lake and he kills them. That's what you get.
Yeah. And I loved how, and I want to blow all our stuff on the whole, we're talking Scream now, we're going to say that, but my point is, like, horror at this point was not, things wasn't really popping, and this movie didn't really do anything to kind of save the genre.
Or save Michael.
Michael essentially died until 97, right? 97?
98.
98? Is that when H2O came? Mm-hmm. So, and it took John to step back up and say, "Hey guys, leave my stuff alone."
Well, I think it was Jamie actually. But, like, hey, I would like to. We're coming up on the 20-year anniversary.
I think John came back into producing. Did he produce?
She wanted him to come back as director. He didn't.
But yeah, no, he is yet to helm the project. The last thing John directed was The Ward, yeah, which I've never seen. I enjoyed. I enjoyed his little movie that was there's a part of the Masters of Horror series, which I like that. He had two of them, Cigarette Burns, and he had one about someone being born pregnant with the Antichrist, which was a really cool one too.
I've added some on Amazon to my list, some films I have never seen or even heard of that he did. So. Yeah. Be curious to go and watch them once I get them.
Yeah, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean they really killed Michael in this film. I mean, in the theatrical cut, they do actually kill him, right? I mean, I'm not confused.
No, I don't think they did.
You got that green fluid coming out.
So I guess we can get towards the end of this movie. Well, all right. Jamie Lloyd dies in the theatrical cut. She dies via Michael pushing on her farm equipment and then turning it on, and it's cuts up her guts, and she dies.
Stepfather 3 did it better.
Yeah, and then
agreed and it didn't hear me.
What'd you say?
I said Stepfather 3 did it better.
I haven't seen Stepfather 3. I've seen only the first stop.
It was a grinder though.
And then I seen the remake of the Stepfather film. But that's all I've seen. I might have seen the other two, but I just don't remember.
3's not good, but it has that grinder scene.
Yeah, it's the dude from Lost. He's in the first one, I think. Or was it Michael Ironside? I feel like Michael Ironside.
No, he's in Terry.
The dude from Lost.
He's in the first two.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I thought so. And then he changed his face. That's because they recast him.
Yeah.
They said he changed his face. I remember that. I have seen the third one. That's so stupid. All right, anyway.
Yeah, I'm just saying the grinder scene was better.
Yeah. But anyway, Jamie dies. There's this baby. Tommy saves the baby from the train station or whatever. He ends up bumping in. Like, I love that scene that kind of played like Tommy Doyle's scene when he was a kid bumping into. He didn't bump into Michael, but the other kid that made fun of him bumped into Michael, and but in this case, he bumped into Tommy Doyle and breaks his pumpkin, and then he ends up at Tommy ends up at his house, which is also weird. Why are you at his house, Tommy?
I mean, he lives across the street now. So.
Still, but he's just a stranger in your house. Plus, how long were y'all there? Y'all didn't hear this lady dying? I'm sorry. Like the mom, like you didn't hear Michael go down there and start to close. Like literally, if you think about it, Michael, literally washed a load of clothes.
There's a lot that don't make sense in either version. I mean, because it is unfinished. I mean,
yeah, but anyway, Kara is a nobody character. I'm sorry, she is. And what do you think about the wind? What do you think about the Man in Black? The maniacal.
About as much as I've thought about him when he shows up. Originally, it just
I only like that guy in Liar Liar.
I like the actor.
He's in Liar Liar.
I think he does a good job. I don't care about the character. I care about Dr. Wynn. But I don't care about the Man in Black. When it's revealed it's him, I was like, he wasted Wynn.
It should have been somebody else. And then it doesn't make sense that y'all want to have Loomis take over for Wynn, who's like Loomis is way older than you.
So
like Loomis ain't gonna be around that much longer. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't make sense. It would have made more sense. I thought about this watching this. I said it would have made more sense if they wanted Tommy Doyle to become the new Loomis to Danny's Michael.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense. Like, and then I'm like, okay, then that would have been a fresh direction. I'm okay with them let me say this. I'm okay with them killing off Michael if you give us a good successor to Michael, but it has to be a good successor.
No, it won't work.
People don't like it because you obviously
it's been proven.
Fake Jason. Nobody likes it.
No, you get so used to a certain killer, you want to see him just come back and come back and come back. I'm even guilty of it. Like if it's Jason, they do that. No.
All right, let me ask you this: how you feel about how you feel about in this case? So we've had at least now over almost 6 or 7 people at this point in the series that played the Shape. Nick, I forget the other guy. There's like 2 or 3 people played him in the first one. Then you have Dick Warlock. Then you have I want to say C.J. Graham did play him once. I keep coming up to his name. I think he played him once. But then you have George Wilburn. Then you had Don Shanks. You have all these people. You can tell who they are. And do you feel that way when it comes to in Friday the 13th? Do you feel that that it's hard to accept other people to play Jason other than Kane? For me, I can't. It's hard for me to accept anybody. And Ken was a nice guy, but it was hard for me to accept him. And that's why I didn't like that movie as much because I wanted it to be Kane Hodder. You immediately know what movie I'm talking about because you're a fan.
Yeah, Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
It's not hard for me to accept someone playing Jason other than Kane, but it is hard for me to accept when someone doesn't play him well.
Mm.
And Kane would have done a fantastic job. And I don't blame Ken for Freddy vs. Jason. I blame the studio that made that movie because they wanted to make Freddy hit top priority and Jason
taller than Jason, taller than Freddy, and
yeah, I mean it's just they've made Jason stupid. and he's never been stupid.
He looked bad. Like literally the
Yeah.
best makeup for Jason is in 5. Right? Oh, was I wrong?
Best makeup, like
Well,
after he's
the makeup in the
a lot of people love 7.
6, 7. Well,
As far as makeup goes,
new beginning.
that's 5.
That's 5.
New Blood 7.
New blood. That's what I'm talking about. New
That's
blood.
what it was. That's King Hodder's.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Debut.
See, I'm not the fan, and I love that he forgives me for being and saying stuff that's ignorant because I'm not. That's not my series. But yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking about though. That one, I love his makeup in that. I love the bony spine, the showing and everything. Just great, But yeah.
Yeah, I think it was great makeup. But as to your question, I don't have an issue with someone else playing Jason as long as they do it well. I mean, but you do? You have an issue?
I don't.
With Michaels? I mean,
well, with Michaels, I think. Oh yeah, we have people. And yeah, you popped it. I'm sorry, man. We just seen it. You bad at checking on your Facebook fans. I'm sorry. Took you RC sign. No, I'm not taking that RC sign. What's up, y'all? Keep going hard and grinding. Thank you, Devon. But yeah, keep commenting, man. I apologize, man. I keep checking on it, but nobody was looking for a while. But I appreciate you showing up. Did you hear me mention Space Jam? I did it for you. All right, but all right. So real quick, so I think that the Michaels. All right, so obviously, because I'm biased, I'm thinking now 2018, but I'm not going to do that because at this point it hasn't happened. At this point, the best Michael, in my opinion, is Dick Warlock. At this point, and I love Nick. I love Nick Castle. I love Nick Castle. But at this point, I think Dick Warlock played him the best, in my opinion.
Is that from 2?
Yes, from 2. And I think that George Woodburn played him the worst. Honestly, I even think that he's worse than Don Shanks. I think at least Don Shanks played him well. He just had a really stupid mask. That's 5. Yeah. 5 is Shanks. But I think George Woodburn, for one, never researched. Now, I believe this time people say, "Hey, I want you to do the head tilt. I want you to do a little bit more mannerisms." But I just don't think that he's scary. I think his hair looks bad. I think the mask looks pretty bad. It doesn't look as bad as 5, but it doesn't look as good as 4. And 4 was terrible too. But you know what I'm saying? It's hard to really like. It's like
I wasn't even gonna bring up the mask on this one.
But I mean, you have to. It had that shaggy hair.
Yeah,
shaggy hair, Michael. And it's like all right, like with I'm going back to your series, Friday the 13th. I think that the mask in 7 and 5, no 7 and 6 and 7. I think they look the best. I like the mask in those series.
The thing with Jason and his mask, here's one thing I do think they got right. They didn't bring a bad mask on set for those films. They just didn't, and it looked like a Jason. It looked like his mask. Mm-hmm. I mean, every single film except for 5, because that's fake Jason.
The blue mask.
The blue, yeah.
Blue mask. I know.
But I would say they paid attention to that. Maybe they were paying attention to what Michael was doing too. It's like, oh man, look at that mask. Why would they even go in production it looking like that? I mean, that's what I'm thinking watching it.
There's a pink Michael Myers mask. In 4.
But like, you get a legit horror franchise. One of the top 3. It's always been considered the top 3.
And if you look at it, you gotta think why. Like honestly, and that's sad. And I'm a Halloween guy, but honestly, I think I hate to say it, but Scream kind of has surpassed this series in the sense of like its consistency. The Ghostface costume has stayed consistently.
We just lost whoever was watching.
Oh, they said I'm out. Listen, answer
I told you. But you know what?
I ticked off the fans, and I'm sorry.
The only reason Ghostface doesn't get love is because it's a different killer every movie.
Yeah, but the concept of Ghostface remains the same, and I think that like I thought Billy Loomis and I forget what's the other guy's name.
I know it's Lillard, but
Yeah, Matt Lillard, but I forget his name in that movie. But I think they were obviously the best incarnations of Ghostface, and I like Loomis's mother, and I loved the other guy too. Oliphant, his real name. His real name Oliphant. But I thought that they were great too. I didn't so much like Roman. I didn't like Roman, and I actually liked
Sydney's niece.
Yeah, Sydney's niece. Actually, her name is Julie in there, and it's Julia Roberts' niece, so it's kind of hilarious. But it's Eric Roberts' kid. But
I think as far as killers go, though, the ones that I really don't care for is two. I love the movie though.
Mm-hmm.
But Laurie Metcalf's playing Lewis's mother, and you got what's his name?
Billy Oliphant. Billy Oliphant. I think his name's Billy Oliphant. His name's Oliphant. I think his name's Billy.
I think it's Timothy though.
Timothy Oliphant. Yeah, Timothy Oliphant.
I like him in the movie. I just don't like his reasoning.
Yeah,
he's like,
this seems forced. Like I love the subtleness of the first Scream film. Like going back and watching, and I don't want to talk about it because I'm going to blow it now, and we're going to talk about this next year, God willing. Never mind. Let me get back to. Well, I want to talk real quick about Nightmare on Elm Street. All right, with Freddy's face. Freddy's face in the first one was more oily and wet looking, had an appearance of wetness. And then like in the second one, it looked pretty much the same, but it's a little bit more grotesque, I think. But then like by the time you get to like 3 and onward, it started like be like a cleaner looking. Burns didn't look as grotesque. It looks like it's not as hard on the eyes to look at him.
Yeah.
In the first couple of movies, it's really hard looking at Freddy. You know what I mean? But later on, like it wasn't.
I think 2 is probably the worst looking at.
Yeah.
Which I don't like that movie at all.
2 is with the boy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 3 is it Dream Warriors?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then Dream Masters is next, and then it's the Dream trilogy. But all right. But anyway, back to the stupid movie. Yeah, and it's stupid. All right, so can you talk about the ending of this movie? Because
which one?
Both. So go in the theatrical. I go in the theatrical because I liked it. You go in that. So all right, let's build up to this act real quick. So we have Kara going over to her house because she sees that her brother and his girlfriend is murdered by Michael, and then so she runs over there because her son Danny is being lured to the house by the man in black. So stupid. And so he goes into the house, and she runs after him. She essentially fights Michael a little bit. I almost say Jason. Fights Michael a little bit, and then hobbles back across the street with her boy. Finally getting back in the house. It's supposed to be like the first one when Laurie was running to get in the house, but you don't feel as tense as you did when Laurie was doing it, because you felt like, oh Lord, please let her in the house, so she gets in the house, and then she finds out Mrs. Blankenship is part of the Thorn. The man in black is in the house, and she literally jumps herself out the window, but she ends up being captured anyway. Which is pointless to jump out the window. Yeah. It's pointless to jump out the window. And then from there, we cut to Loomis, and this is the difference. You cut to Loomis and Tommy waking up. They talking about we've been drugged. Tommy says we've been drugged. I feel like I've been drugged. That's how he gave the line. I feel like I've been drugged.
Okay. I just can't wait for this movie to be over.
Yeah, and then so
I'm never working again.
They make their way to Smith's Grove, which in this movie, did you notice that when she says make way for the Warren County Express, and then she also debated in the producer's cut that lady says make way for the Hardin County Express.
I think they mentioned Russellville at some point.
Yeah,
like at the train station, but
they mentioned Russellville. But yeah, but because I think Haddonfield is technically Warren County, but in this movie they said it's Hardin County, which is actually Warren County because if you look at the rest of it, anyway, that's stupid. Anyway, so at the end of this,
I will say about this movie though, Haddonfield looked more like Haddonfield to me. So I give him props.
It's still shot in Utah. The pickup shots was in LA, but yeah, but yeah. So they end up in the Smiths Grove Sanitarium, which looked like a prison. Does it not look like a hospital?
That doesn't look like a hospital.
Or a sanitarium. I don't know if they have bars. I have no.
It kind of looks like the where Sarah Connor was.
Yeah, I kind of felt that. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so
maybe it is.
So
maybe they do look like prisons.
They kick Kara locked up in this room. Tommy Doyle comes in and he smashes with the fire extinguisher the door, and then Michael's standing looking at him. He stops and looks at him, and he gives a goofy look on his face, like, yeah.
I know. Yeah. I was laughing.
I was like, what is that? Like,
you know, Paul Rudd was judged based on his performance. He would never worked again.
I'm glad that he ended up getting like Clueless and blowing up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he recovered.
He's
like Kevin Bacon.
He's Ant-Man now.
He's like Kevin Bacon. Got to start off in a slasher, big slasher film.
He's literally an A-lister now. He's like the biggest thing that came out of this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of him.
I would say even franchise.
Yeah.
I think he's bigger than
He's the
Jamie.
biggest. Yeah, he's bigger than Jamie. I know diehard fans might cut me off. I'm sorry. Paul Rudd is bigger. If you've been in a Marvel movie, MCU, if you're a literal Avenger, you're bigger than whoever was in Halloween. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, guy. Batista is at this point is bigger than Jamie, and I hate to say it.
Now you got Anthony Michael Hall involved, so
I like Anthony Michael. I like him.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the Breakfast Club.
He's the OG.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's a good replacement for Tommy Doyle. I would have liked to see Paul Rudd reprise.
I don't know if I would.
You would have.
I don't know.
It's just better. It's gonna be more serious with Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
But anyway, he gets Kara out. They essentially find the baby and the boy is there in the operating room. I don't know why. I don't understand that. Michael kills everybody in the operating room. There was a pickup shot as well. And then they escape. And he goes into a room. He sticks them with some needles with green stuff in it. And then he beats them down. And he has green stuff oozing outside of his mask. And then they escape with Loomis. And Loomis says, well, y'all leave and I'll go back in. I have some unfinished business to take care of. And so he goes back in, and next thing you know, you see Michael's mask and the syringe laying next to it, and you hear Loomis screaming. And it applies Loomis is getting killed by Michael off screen.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie. It shows a pumpkin. That's the end of theatrical. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just going to do the short version. Okay, so Paul Rudd's character, Tommy, he gets these stones, right?
Oh, no, you ain't going to talk about Michael standing at the altar just looking? We already spoke about that.
We talked about that a little bit.
And then, he takes the thorn dude by, with a knife. It says untie her, but she unties herself. All right. It's so stupid.
I'm trying to be nice here.
Yeah, and then they're running from Michael, and there's this bad alarm happening, and he's wearing this thorn get up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anyway, he's got these stones, and
Michael's coming.
Michael's coming. He puts the stones on the floor, spreads them out a little bit, and I forget the word he says.
Sam Wayne. He says Sam Hain.
Sam Hain.
But it's Samhain.
It works.
Samhain.
The spell works. Michael just freezes.
Stops. Michael stops.
The force was stopped.
And then Paul does this. He's looking at him. Oh, it works. Oh, wow. He's mine. He belongs to me now. That's why I took it. Did you take it that way? He's mine now. I can do what I want with him. Like you should have been
Yeah.
like, go kill them.
At that point, I was just, please end. How much is long?
He's
How much
still
is left?
standing.
But yeah, he's still
Oh my
standing there,
gosh, so stupid.
and he's telling he's outside with Loomis, I believe, at this point. He's saying it worked. I'm like, at this point, it became like
He
a
put the runes around.
gothic, supernatural type of a film, and it's so not Michael Myers. It's so not The Shape. It's so not Halloween. It's not anything.
It's terrible.
It went in a direction it shouldn't have went in, and I think they know that. After 20 years later, I think they know.
What happened to old boy?
Oh yeah, they go back in. Well, Loomis says he's got to take care of something. So
but Wynn goes in. Well, Wynn confronts Michael. Then Michael does the clench fist.
Yeah, does a clench fist. Like, I didn't really understand is he gonna hit him or what? He doesn't hit. He stabs
I don't think Michael's ever punched anyone.
I can't recall.
Unless it's with a shotgun in your torso. But anyway,
Loomis goes back in. He sees Michael on the floor. He lifts the mask up. We got a comment?
Yeah, we got a comment. Oh, he's still with us. Oh, hey, James. Halloween 6 is so bad, I gnawed on my own leg to escape. Yes, absolutely. It is that terrible. That's a good analogy. Yeah, that's how bad this movie is. Let me check my Facebook message. Oh, yeah, he finished commenting. All right, anyway. Yeah, I agree with you, James. It is that bad.
It is.
But go ahead.
He pulls the mask off of Michael, and it's Wynn. And then he gets the mark.
He says, now it's your responsibility or something. I don't know. He grabs his hand.
Yeah, and we see Michael dressed up like the Man in Black.
We can tell you, or we can show you. That's so bad.
If they would have got a sequel to this,
what was Michael going to do?
cut.
Just like literally walk around in a fedora? Is he Freddy now? Is that what Michael going to be? Like in a trench coat? He's the Man in Black. Is he going to like walk around like the Undertaker and like just kill people? But no mask?
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
With burnt face?
If they would have went the direction they were going in with the look, would Michael still be killing people? Since he's no longer The Shape, or
he is though, because it doesn't make sense. Why is Loomis now The Shape? Is that why he's screaming? Is he gonna be killing people?
He's got the mark. It's what Michael had. I don't.
Is he gonna go around shooting people?
Did Wynn have the mark?
I don't think so. I don't think Wynn hit the mark.
See,
That's
what I didn't understand. So
Loomis gonna go around shoot people 6 times.
Okay.
That's what you're gonna do.
Are you ready to give the score?
Oh yes, let's give the score and kill this dog. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and kill the score. We're not killing animals. We're no Michael Myers here. We don't kill the dogs. We love the dogs. Get them neutered. Get them spayed. Anyway,
wow.
All right. So
you're just making it worse.
But anyway, for me, the theatrical cut, I'm gonna give it 2.5 marks out of 5.
What?
2.5 marks out of 5.
Oh dear God.
Because I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Oh dear God. Oh God.
For the producer's cut, I'm gonna give it 1 mark out of 5.
We agree on something.
Okay, go ahead.
The producer cut wins this for me. It gets 1 mark. 1.
Oh, what is the wait? What does the theatrical get?
It gets a half star for me.
Oh my goodness!
I hate
this
film.
Did you just invent a rating?
I guess.
Because we only go from 1 to 5.
It doesn't deserve one, Aaron. It does not
What,
deserve
what
one.
other movie have we watched that we gave that low of a mark?
Fine, it gets no stars.
No, well, that's what you gave it something. You could have gave it no marks. But anyway,
But we've never graded anything that low before. It's
this
always
is-
been 1. I mean,
this is the lowest grade. Well, this is no. I gave something negative space. What was it? Which wasn't real. It's can't. Just essentially it's a nothing. But
maybe it was Brahms, The Boy too.
yes, it was that one. It was, and it was Black Christmas. I gave those.
You really went off on Black Christmas.
Yeah, I hated Black Christmas. It's such a terrible movie. I'm not the original, guys. I'm talking about the remake that came out. Was so bad. It's just so terrible.
He's making a comment about cats.
Oh, Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, worse than Cats the movie. I've never seen it, but I actually heard that Cats the movie is more enjoyable. But and they probably look better than the Michael in this one. But anyway,
now I actually thought the film itself looked good. I thought, as far as quality, how it looks, it looks good. Michael, not so much, but how it looks. It looks like Halloween too. It does look like it's Halloween season.
And what this movie did is the same thing that Jason Goes to Hell and Final Nightmare did. It killed the series for a little while. Next week, we talk about
Thank God.
the return of Laurie Strode, aka Jamie Lee Curtis.
I have been waiting. How many weeks? 4 weeks for this.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to get back.
He's been waiting since 4. Only 4, right?
No, 3.
You've been waiting since 3?
Yeah.
You didn't like 3?
No, I did. But after 3, I was like, I can't wait to get back to H2O.
Yeah.
That's the one I really want to see.
All right. So we get back to it's a false hope because we get back to some good stuff and then it's gonna go down again for the next 3 movies. But we're not gonna talk about. We're gonna mention Zombie.
I mean,
Did you want to watch it?
If you want to review, then
do we have time?
No, but
do we have time before Kills?
No.
What? So what's
you could review them after Kills if you really want to.
No. We could review them leading up to 2018 because we gotta talk about. We talk about it before. We just talk about a quick recap of Zombies Halloween, and then we get into Halloween 2018.
That means I don't have to watch it.
You will watch it. I'll let you borrow them so you can watch them. I need you to watch them. You got to watch these movies.
I swore an oath I would never watch Halloween 2 again.
Bring my 6-pack though. But anyway.
I will. Trust me.
Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
And we are the Markout Movie Podcasters. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, follow, and all that stuff. Thank you, James, for commenting. Thank you, DK, for commenting. We thank everybody for watching. Devon, I know he's gonna kill me. Thank you too. All right, but please let's not make this movie ever again.